Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Monogatari of and Monster Season episode number 14 reaction. Now I'm not sure if this is the final episode of this or if there's something more after this, but let's wait and see. In the previous episode what happened was we got to know who the actual person is who is doing all of this. Obviously it is not Dystopia, it is someone else, and it was the first person that Dystopia came here and met, Sowa Kiseki, whose body has still not been found. I was kind of under the misunderstanding that her body has been found. That's why I never really suspected her. All the names kind of like jumbled up in my head, so I kind of misunderstood that. So in the end I was like, okay, that makes sense. So that's what's happening. Also, Dystopia had a conversation with Shinobu. It's been a long time, 600 years they met, and they kind of talked about a few things. And now they are trying to because Dystopia wants to go back, but she cannot go back because she's currently here stuck with a whole crime on her which she never did. So we'll have to go and confront Sowa Kiseki, stop her from doing all of this, and that's why Aragi decided to go to that little pajama party, yeah, like that Kanbaru Higasa they're having. And Swakisuki might actually strike over there. So let's see what happens today. Let's begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my god. They even did his hair. Yo. Right. Sono Mitono. Okay. Damn. Umikawa Nikawa. What are these names? Sylvia, Sylvia? All wordplays? Thierry. Oh god. Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Four. Ah. Funding component on the 5. Ah. Okay. Wait. So wait. So one of them was not. Oh no, wait a minute. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Like as he says, like we are not supposed to be finding the similarity between them, but the odd one out of them. And that's why he's like, so okay, so this is not the place to be. I should be there because the 5 of them are over there in that place where Gain kept them. Oh. Oh. Oh, is yep, that's her. Damn, so different. You're poison. Yeah, you literally play putting the blame on her. Yeah, so then what? Hmm. What? Yeah. Oh, Hachikuji. Damn. All right. Hmm. Wait. So let's move further. Wow. Then okay, that is crazy. So she's the one who started it. Okay, so I was correct. Yeah. Hmm. That gave her food poisoning. Only eating and being eaten as a son. Oh. Yeah, that is true. Hmm. I'm the only one. We are the only ones. Yeah. 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 Are you happy? Did you get what you wanted? Well, yeah. Faster. I cannot afford to stop. That purpose, she came here dodging countless. Yeah. Well, What do you want her to say? Damn. Oh, which is? Oh. Hmm. Oh, well then. Damn. So she's like everything is bad. Damn. So she'll like, she's giving her choices. Damn, this seems like some kind of a choice, like a choice matters video game. Like, oh, this choice or that choice. Yeah, what does she get from this? Yeah. Right. That's what she's called. Yeah. Hmm. Damn. Well, you were the successful. Yeah, one of the successful ones. That's true. She's giving her the choice. Damn. This is the thing. She's Kisaki's getting mad because she hasn't found that mental peace that dystopia has gotten. Wait. Wait, what? Oh, I've. Who was believed to. Oh, that's why Aragi said that. Oh my god. That is true. How? Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. So that was actually Kiseki who was mummified. Yeah. Out of the brain now. Okay. Which means. Oh. Oh my god. What the hell? Straight up in this one. Yeah. I see. So that's why she. Oh. Okay. Yeah. The way. What is the dress that he's wearing? Well, Shinobu's there with him, so. Including you. Yeah. What the? Yeah. Yeah, she's like, I went too far. Yeah. Well, I could say the reverse as well. What does, like, that is just what you're saying. You cannot make decisions for them, what they want. She's like, oh, you young ones. Damn. Wow. Yeah, the protagonist being a vampire. Damn, she's doing it as if she's fake. Well, there she is. Oh, oh, damn. Oh, well, yeah. Kaganu is here. Yeah. That is true. She said that. That is true. She's way weaker than. She's like, bro, what is this? This is not what I was expecting. Oh boy. Damn. Well, that's, yeah. A new vampire. Oh! Senjogara! It's been a while we've seen her. Hardy Maya? I doubt that. She's just a fledgling. Oh. Didn't revert that girl to. Oh, so then. Yeah. So. Or maybe because Dystopia is so weak now? Wait. Wow. So they improve. Oh. Damn. So they kicked her out and told her never to come back. Well, that's what she wanted, I guess. Hmm. Okay. Damn. What? What? It's from a year and a half ago. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. This question. Monster. So he's free now, I'm guessing, because that's what she promised him. Rumor. What? Hmm. Yeah, you don't have any watches over there. Wow. Yeah. Damn. Oh wow. Yeah, because she's an adult. Yeah, because Ari always tries to, like, sympathize. Younger than a younger. Hmm. Okay. Well, right. Okay, so is this the end, or is there more episodes after this? I don't know how many episodes this has. It's not even clearly written in the in my anime list. I couldn't find it. Hmm. Okay, I have no idea. I still have no idea. Is this the end for this, or will there be episode 15 after this? What the? Wait a minute. Okay, that was it. This was episode 14, yeah. So yeah, I think that was it. Now, obviously, that was not it because, as far as I know, it doesn't have another core after, I don't know when, but it'll probably be in the future, sometime. But I think that they're supposed to have another core after this. So that will again, I'm assuming, will be like 14 episodes or something like that, maybe. Let me see if there has any type of been announcement. Oh, nope, I cannot really see anything here. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to come eventually. Yeah, because yeah, I think there's another core after this. Either way, that was today's episode. Now, today's episode had a very interesting twist in it. Like, they kind of established the fact at the very in the previous episode at the very end that it's Soa Kiseki who did that, and I was also pretty confirmed. I was also like, oh yeah, you know what, makes sense because she's the one who, like, Dystopia met, and drank the blood, and that is why then she got completely out of commission. Kiseki, Kiseki was, then after that, Kiseki became a successful case of being a vampire, and then all of these happened. It made sense. But okay, one thing I'm kind of forgetting the way, the arrangement. So Kiseki was the first victim, wasn't it? And Harimase was after that. So, or no, maybe Harimase was the first victim. The thing about this arc, which made it so confusing, is there's so many characters at the same time. I still don't know who is who and whose face is what. Like, even in that section where Harimase comes and was literally talking to Dystopia for so long. I was thinking throughout the whole section, I was thinking, oh, this is Kiseki. And then at the very end, at the very end, I'm like, wait a minute, something is wrong is going on here. Is she not Kiseki? And yeah, she calls herself Harimase, and I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, what's happening? So in the very first episode of this arc, there was a scene where they showed one girl was like looking at her phone, and she was like completely, like not happy about the basketball club. She walks and then comes across Dystopia, and Dystopia introduces herself to her. That's it. Who was that? Was that Kiseki or was that Harimase? I still don't know. I still don't, like I cannot, like I said, there's so many characters that has suddenly been introduced that I don't remember their names or their faces. So that's the thing. Like, so if that was Kiseki, then does that mean that Harimase came after that, or was that Harimase? Yeah, you know what? I'm not really sure because I still. But you know what? Let me go through this episode in the discussion. Maybe I'll get to know. I'll get to understand everything, because when there was like deducing the whole thing, and they were explaining it to us, it happened so fast that like I understood what was going on, but I had to properly understand like this what happened scene after scene. I'll need to little by little read it. Right, but obviously the main point of today's episode was that Aragi realizes that there is something weird going on, and that's why he was like, okay, it's not that I'm supposed to find the similarity between the five, but I'm supposed to find the odd one out. And I was kind of thinking at that point that, wait, odd one out, why does it matter, odd one out? Because it's Kiseki who's doing it. Even if you can find out the odd one out from the victims, would that matter? Like, because Kiseki is the one who's doing it. But now it makes sense after we saw what happened, that why he was trying to find the odd one out. Because it's not Kiseki who's doing it, it was that odd one out that is the one who completely tricked us, everyone, into thinking that it's Kiseki who's doing it, but it was actually her. That is insane. So this girl had like two layers. The first layer was the fact that she made everyone think, or at least up until a certain point, that Soa Kiseki is the one who's doing this. That's the first deception. The second layer of deception is obviously the fact that she pinned the blame on Dystopia, Virtuoso Suicide Master. So it's that is crazy. Like, she set like two layers of deception. Like, even if someone figures out that, oh, it's not Dystopia who's doing it, they'll probably put the blame on Kiseki without even realizing that that's not her. Because mummified, everyone looks literally the same. That kind of thing. And it was kind of a very big brain plan, because if you think about it, all the victims, Kiseki is there, and she just changed the dresses and everything, and switched the belongings to completely fake her own, I guess you could say, the fact that she's the one who's doing this. So this was actually a very well laid trap, because like I said, if some way or the other they figured out that, the authorities, they were like, you know what, it's not Dystopia who's doing it. If that deception came out, she would still be fine, because everyone would pin the blame on Kiseki and that kind of thing. So it's just like that is insane. And that's what and now after doing all of this, she's now like, I don't like it, after getting revenge, like, what, I feel empty, I feel hollow. And you can see how she was frustrated while Dystopia was talking about how she's content with her life. The fact that after so long, she has found Shinobu, and she's seen that Shinobu's okay, and Shinobu's found that person, she's at peace. Like, she's happy about that fact, and she's content with her life. So after so much time, she's like, you know what, perfect time for me to die, so take me out. So that whole thing was probably pissing Harimase off, because here she is, after becoming a vampire, who's not feeling content about her life. She thought it would feel like fulfilling after getting her revenge, but nothing. And then we have in front of her Dystopia, who's literally like, I'm content with my life. That is, she couldn't accept that. She couldn't accept the fact that she's unhappy while Dystopia is completely content with this. And that's why she was like so agitated, you could see at the end. Um, yeah. But anyways, Kaganui comes in and literally stops the whole thing. It was so damn easy. Like as they said, she's just a fledgling. She's just a newly like born vampire, you could say. So it wasn't really a big deal. You could have easily stopped her. Yeah, and also Senjogahara. We finally saw her at the final episode. I was thinking they're probably going to show Senjogahara at the very final episode, and yep, that's what they did. You know, and Araragi talks about how like how he's still not an adult, because this is the thing that Araragi, we've seen this, like we've been watching Monogatari, we all know Araragi's characteristic. He's someone who would even save his enemy, you know, who would feel bad even for someone who's been doing stuff like this. And that's like the biggest reason why you could probably say that he saved Kishshot, when she was like at the brink of death in the beginning of the spring break. He, that thing, I don't know what you call that, like that type of a personality, like where he's literally trying to save everyone, that kind of thing. Hero complex, is that what it is? I don't think it's a hero complex, but kind of like it, I guess. But that's what Araragi is. We've all seen Araragi, from the very beginning, and little by little we've gotten to know that this is literally his character. Everyone knows it. Senjogahara knows it. Everyone who's like close friends of him knows that he's like this. So that is why Araragi says in the end, that asks Kagenui that how are you so different? Like, not only you, but most of the people that I talk to, how can they make a decision like this? Like Aragi says that even if she was at fault, Harimase, after seeing her, I felt bad for her. How can you like, as a person, how could you so easily just not get that feeling? How do you do that? At which Kagami says, it's pretty simple. It's because I'm an adult, And yeah, what else can you say? She's not wrong. And in that sense, if you think about it, you could say Aragi is still, I guess you could say, a kid in that sense. But obviously, this characteristic of him has, it's not only, it's not something bad, you would say. It has also done a lot of good things, because obviously, meeting Shinobu and helping Kishshot out in itself was probably because of this weird type of a hero complex of him. Again, I'm calling it a hero complex, but it's not really a hero complex, because hero complex is something more negative, you would say. I wouldn't call Aragi's this like characteristic a hero complex. He genuinely just wants to help people, even if that's his enemy. That kind of thing. That couldn't really be called a hero complex, but I don't really have a better word for it. That's why I'm calling it a hero complex. But if he didn't have this, then I'm pretty sure he would have never saved Kishshot. He probably would have, after seeing that scene, he probably would have run away. The fact, if you remember, in Kizumonogatari, he runs away and then he comes back, because of that characteristic of him. So that's why I'm saying not everything bad happened because of that. Literally, Kishshot's existence, the fact that she still exists, is the biggest reason behind that is Aragi's that characteristic. So that's basically what it is. Either way, that is how it ended. Yeah, that was a good episode. The way they revealed it, up until the very end when they revealed that it was Harimase, I still thought that was Kiseki, and at the very end I was like, wait a minute, is this someone else? Like, what's going on? Yep, it is someone else. It was someone we didn't expect. Right. And that was today's episode. Really good episode, really good way to conclude this. I think this was the end for this cour, at least. I'm pretty sure they'll have another cour, because there's a lot more monster season, I think, and off season stuff to adapt. So we got, I think, Oroka Monogatari still hasn't ended. There's still a few things left to be adapted. So Nade Monogatari we completed, Waza Monogatari we completed, and Shinobu Monogatari we completed. So I think there's still a few more. You know what? Let me check. Because I think there's still a few more. Okay. Oroka Monogatari, yeah. Like I said, I think Oroka Monogatari still is left. They'll probably adapt the rest of it later. Then we have Waza Monogatari, Nade Monogatari. Okay, Musubi Monogatari is still left, I think, to adapt. Then we have Shinobu Monogatari, which we got today. That was the end, I'm guessing. Then we have Yoi Monogatari, Amari Monogatari, yeah. Amari Monogatari, Ogi Monogatari. Damn, there's so many still left. Shino Monogatari. Wow, okay, I think it'll take more than a season to complete this. Sugi Monogatari. Wow. Yeah, and that's it, I think. So I think it's going to take more than a season, more than another season to complete it. Because at least still like 6 more arcs after this, I think. And we had like 3 arcs in one season. Maybe the next school will have another 3 more arcs, and then maybe a few more after that. If they decide to adapt, I'm sure they'll adapt everything. Otherwise, why, like there's no point. Like, why would they even start adapting it if they have no plans on adapting the complete thing? I'm pretty sure they'll adapt the complete thing, and I'm really looking forward to this. This season has been a masterpiece, absolutely amazing, and yeah, I hope we get the next school soon. Anyways, okay, that was that. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. Okay, now this will take a while. Like I said, today's episode will take a while, the scene by scene discussion, because there's a lot of things I need to understand. The whole play that Harimase did, I need to understand it properly. Like, I understood it in a kind of like a broader sense. I understood what's going on, but the nitty gritty, it kind of flew over my head, a few of the things. I need to understand that. First and foremost, we have to see Aragi introducing himself, not Aragi, but all the other girls introducing themselves, and we get to see all of them. Kanbaru, typical Kanbaru banter. She does the whole Aragi senpai's, that whole thing. And then you can see, okay, where's that part? Okay, so Aragi says, like, these girls that are these 5 girls, is there something common within them? Obviously Higasa's like, no, there's actually, they haven't even played together. I don't think they've even been on a gym together either, so there's nothing common. So Aragi's like, it's hard to round these 5 of them together as a team. Then what if it was just 4? A common point for the 4 of them: cell phones. And then he's like, oh no, maybe that means this is not about finding a common point among the 5, not assuming that they're allies. What if it was a Japanese class problem where you have to find the odd one out of the 5 listed? So yeah, so there you go. Right, so spot the difference, or something like a college student participation in a high school party like this. Out of place, find the one that is different from the others. Yeah. So this is where Aragi comes to the conclusion that, okay, so we're not supposed to find the common thing, it's the odd one out. So the fact that I'm here is not okay. This is actually like a wrong lead that I'm following. I have to go somewhere else. Okay, so here we go. I remember the favor I asked of Kanbaru and the conversation I had with Meniko. So that's how our investigation intel got leaked out. If that's the case, the place where I need to be is not here. And he kind of explains this later. He kind of explains that basically, like, Harimase wasn't aware that Kanbaru will be here. Kanbaru and his whole group will be here. He thinks they're in Kanbaru's place. She doesn't know that they have relocated here. So that's why she would target Kanbaru's house, where Dystopia is there, and that's why Karagi decides to go back. He explains this later. I'll read this part as well later on when he explains it properly. Okay, so after that you can see, yeah, in comes Harimase, but obviously at that point I was thinking this is Soya Kisaki. She comes out, and like, here's the thing. You know what's funny? I I saw her and I was like, wait, she. If you remember in the previous episode, Gain sketches, does a little sketch, not a sketch, but a little editing, and she literally put like yellow hair on Sowakiseki, and she gave it to Arag, and she was like, oh, look at this. This is probably how she looked like. I was looking at Harimase here. Obviously, at that point, I didn't know that was Harimase. I was thinking that's Sowakiseki. And I was like, wait a minute. This doesn't look familiar. This doesn't at all look like the girl that we saw in the previous episode, what Gain showed Aragi with the edited yellow hair. So I was like, okay, so is it because, did she like change her hairstyle? Is that why she looks different? But no, it makes sense now, because that one was actually Soyakiseki's photo that Gain edited. So that was actually Soyakiseki. This isn't. This is someone completely else. That's why she looks completely different as well. But obviously, I thought she like changed her hairstyle or something. That's why she looked different from the previous episode. But no, it turns out this was a completely different person. Anyways, so this is where Dystopia and her starts having a conversation. She was like, oh, like, I ingested your blood, and it was not good for me, and she's like, like, you've done some bad things, like, you've used my name to do whatever you please, and that is not okay. And she's like, oh, I do feel sorry for using your name, but I didn't feel any ill will while burying you in the mountain. So why did you bury me over there? She's like, oh, because I felt like, your soul would find respite because it's closer to the shrine. Right. Okay. So this is where Dystopia says, like, someone like me, hardcore, cool bloodline of mine, has been walking around for a dumb reason as revenge. That's kind of bad. Is that what you wanted? Is that why you wanted to become a vampire? Is that why you wanted me to eat you? Okay, so this part actually went over my head, because she said that, and you know what? I guess this was intended to throw us off as well, because if you remember, so I was still thinking this was Soyakiseki. If you remember, Soyakiseki said, if that was her, I don't even remember if that was her. You know what? I need to confirm this. Who was that girl who we saw in the very first episode of this arc, walking through the the street, and Dystopia comes in and introduces herself to her, and that the scene cuts off? Was that Soyakiseki, or was that this girl? Because I was under this impression that was Soyakiseki, but turns out probably not. That was this girl. Like, yeah, it's just like, messing with my head. But okay, you know what? Let me just look at her. Harimase, that's her name. Let me just look at her picture. Yeah, Harimase. Oh, okay. There, all right. Yep, that was her. Okay, so there you go. Now that one confusion has been clear. I was thinking, like, I was, again, like I said, I didn't remember the names. I kind of mixed up all the names, jumbled it all up. That made it even more confusing to me that it should have. Kie Harimase was that girl. In the very first episode, we saw that girl who was in her phone, who comes down and who was like, "Oh, this sucks. I hope some monster comes and like eats me or something." She said something like that, and Dystopia comes in at that exact moment. Yeah, I was under the complete wrong impression up until today's episode that was Soyakiseki. You know, And maybe they intended it to be like that as well. I don't know what they were intended to do. Maybe they deliberately like threw out so many names and so many characters at the same time to confuse us all. But I was confused. At least I still in the very end, up until she reveals her name, I was under the impression that was Soyaki Seki and this was also Soyaki Seki. And I guess the show was able to throw me off, at least throw me off, because they confused the hell out of me and I was completely like understanding who was who and which character was which character. And that's why at the very end when they revealed that this is Harimase, it came as a shock to me. I was like, oh damn, okay. So I guess the anime succeeded in doing that. At least I was confused and that did came as a shock. But yeah, so it's confirmed now. That was her. That was Harimase. That wasn't Soyaki Seki. So there you go. So like I said, at least at that point I again got like thrown off over here, because I was like, wait, so as she says, you wanted me to eat you or take your blood. I was like, oh yeah, that did happen, back then. But here's something that Dystopia reveals that did kind of surprise me, where she was like, yeah, I didn't tell them about the part yet. I have no intention of covering for you, but I did tell them that I did tell them something along the lines of, I was trying to show off in front of Shinobu because we didn't meet after a so long time. That's why I deliberately took your blood. But that wasn't true. You came in front of me, or when I came in front of you, you said that, oh, eat my blood, take my blood, drink my blood. Yeah, so that did surprise me, because I genuinely believed Dystopia. I genuinely thought that, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe she actually wanted to show off in front of Shinobu. That's why she did that. So that was a lie, Okay. In any case, yeah, she was there to ask for directions, and Harimasa was probably like, "Oh, are you a vampire? Can you drink my blood?" Something like that, she said. And I'm pretty sure she didn't want to become a vampire. She probably just wanted something to happen to knock her out cold, and so that she doesn't have to go to practice anymore. Something like that she expected and she wanted. And completely the opposite happened what she expected. It was Dystopia who got knocked out, and she was completely fine, and moreover, she became a vampire. So none of them expected this result. So and that's when she probably made up this plan that, oh, I'm going to take revenge on everyone, and she just buried Dystopia in the mountains, and that's what happened. It makes so much sense now. I was simply asking for directions, but it suddenly groveled and pleaded with me, please make me a vampire. Oh yeah, so she did say, please make me a vampire. I didn't tell them about it. It was unexpected that I turned into a mummy. She got food poisoning. Right, so she says like, oh, so is someone like me uncommon? And she's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I had someone like that 600 years ago. She did tell me to make her a vampire, just like you did. Maybe that's why I got sentimental and I tried to drink your blood, and then I got food poisoning, and you became a vampire. Okay. Here, so this is what Dystopia says. The former minion of the previously Heart Under Blade. Wait a minute. What? Okay, wait a minute. The former minion of the previously Heart Under Blade seems to be thinking and brooding over the meal issue. Oh, she's talking about what was his name? Oh, that samurai guy. I forgot his name. Former minion, that I'm assuming. So that's who she's talking about, I'm guessing. But if you ask me, the main focal point is missing. He's only seeing eating and being eaten as assaulter and victim. Oh no, maybe she's talking about Araragi, because former minion, because he's not really a minion of he's not really a minion of Shinobu at this point is actually the reverse, I guess you could say. Kind of. Oh yeah, I guess she's talking about Aragi. Is she? I think so. Yeah. Wait a minute. The former minion of the previously. Oh yeah, she's talking about Aragi. Okay, that kind of confused me a little bit. Heart Underblade, like she says, former minion of the previously, like like the Heart Underblade. So basically, she knows that Shinobu has lost her, that whole thing. Okay, so that means she know what's going on. So I'm guessing Shinobu either didn't tell her that Aragi is her, master, like because Shinobu told Aragi that, oh, can I just say the reverse for today only? Like, say that, oh, you are actually my slave, not the other way around. And Aragi was like, yeah, do whatever. And they didn't really show us what she told her. So either Shinobu didn't say that, Shinobu told her the truth, what happened, or she didn't tell her the truth, but Dystopia figured it out anyways. And she realized that, yeah, Aragi is the one in control in this situation. Right. Anyway, so she says, like, the main focal point was missing. Maybe there's someone, he's only looking at seeing eating and being eaten as the assaulter and the victim. But what about someone who wants to get the blood sucked? Yeah. His assumptions are leaving out the case where the eaten are wishing to be eaten. There you go. Yeah, and this Harimasa again says, like, like, if there was someone like that, who would even do that? And she's like, oh, I told you, like, there was someone like that, a human like that. Yeah, she tried to become a vampire with a sublime, like a hard and cool person like myself. Yeah, could not understand. And unlike you, it was most productive. Yeah, what she went off to do, she actually succeeded in. Nowadays, she's forgotten all about her sublime idea, and she's lost everything. And that's exactly what I guess you could say Dystopia wanted. She just wanted her to have inner peace, which she has now, Shinobu. I guess she managed to accomplish it all. Yeah. That makes me feel relieved from the bottom of my gut. But what about you? You used your great power to really devour humans. Do you feel accomplished now? Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I don't have any like sense of accomplishment. Revenge turns out isn't really that like good. Like it doesn't make you fulfilled. Okay, so this is where she says, like, in that aspect it was a letdown, like, and she also complains about the fact that you cannot go out, the sun and everything, and she's like, yeah, like, that's true. Okay, so Harima says, like, isn't this the time where you should say what is the good points of being a vampire? Um, and she's like, nah, like, it is very desperate, like, this type of situation is very bad. But I have a good deal for such a desperate being like you. Why don't you eat me? Like, take my blood, devour me completely, and yeah, you might be able to become a human again. She's like, who said I want to become a human? At which Dystopia is like, didn't you literally say, like, now that you hate this? This is the worst thing that has happened. And she's like, yeah, I said that, but did I say that I want to become a human? This is definitely the bad situation, but I never said that being a human is a good thing as well. That might be even worse than this. And Desktop is like, okay, so then if you don't want that, it's fine. If you eat me, if you consume me, you can actually become a stronger being, than even me. Because you're literally killing the person who made you into a vampire and eating them. So, you have two choices in front of you. You can either become a human if you want to, or you can become like a super being, after you eat me. That is up to you. You do what you want. But for that to happen, you have to eat me. And please do that, because I think I'm content now. Yeah, where's that part where she says that? Here we go. She says, like, it's not that I'm just trying to die. Like, you look at me, I'm just going to die either way. I'm dying, like, I'm starving to death. So I just don't want it to happen like that. As Harimasa says that 90 to 80% vampires ended up committing suicide. So she's like, yeah, and that's exactly what I want to avoid. That is why I want you to kill me. I want to go out with a bang. Basically that. I don't want to just die like this. Starving myself to death. Right. Yeah, this is the thing, like this whole starvation thing that she's talking about. um it did bother me so much when like she said in the previous episode that, oh, I wanted to show off, that's why I uh I went to have, like, blood. I did think you know she might have done something like this because she's very similar to Shinobu. Shinobu also wanted to, like, like show off. She also wanted to show off, you know, and that's why she did that. But it did feel a little bit weird to me because I was like, Dystopia is someone with like crazy principles. She's not going to do something just like that. She's not going to like break her whatever she's been starving herself for 600 years. You think suddenly she would come here and start drinking blood? Why? Why would she break that whole thing? It kind of makes no sense. And as we see today, there you go. It wasn't her. It was Harimasa who told her, and she remembered Shinobu's situation. Princess Asarora's situation, and the fact that how she also asked her to make a vampire, and that's why she did it to this girl as well. And then she get a food poisoning. Right. Yeah. So this is why she also says, like, like I'm content with it. My one of the like things that was kind of keeping me here, was kind of bothering me, was the fact, is Shinobu okay? Is like Acerola, did she find that person? Is she at peace now? What has happened? Or is she still going around wandering, like a vagabond, just going everywhere and just like suffering? I just wanted to see that. And after seeing here, and after seeing the relationship that she shares with Aragi, and seeing her expressions, seeing the fact that she's happy, I'm content. And I think this is the best time for me to die. And I don't want to commit suicide, so you you end me before that happens. Okay, where's that part? Hey, here we go. I just no longer have any more regrets. Um, because an old friend is thoughtlessly and lightheartedly having fun, and I witnessed it with my own eyes. Yep, there's nothing I have left to regret anymore. And you can see Harimasa is getting pissed off more and more because, like I said, I'm pretty sure she was thinking, like, what the hell? Like, I'm suffering, and you here is like talking about being content. Something like that, she was probably thinking. Um, yeah. So, anyways, she's like, okay, I'm going to kill you. And she goes and goes and attacks her. And in the very end, she was like, oh, I'd like to know the name of the vampire who will be killing my great self. What is your name? And this is the part which struck me so odd. I was like, what the hell? Why is she asking her name? Isn't her name Soya Kiseki? Wasn't that already established? And that's when I was like, oh no, so maybe this is someone else. And that's when everything clicked. She gave out her name, Kie Harimase. There you go. Yeah, of course I can. The name of the person who will kill you is Kie Harimase. Yeah, and Aragi's voice comes out here, and this is where we get to know Aragi's deduction. So I have to read this part. This part is very confusing, at least while reacting. So it's Soa Kiseki, not Soa Kiseki. It's Harimase, who was believed to be the first victim. There you go. So Harimase was believed to be the first victim, but it was not her. They switched out the thing. Okay. It was a body swap. The mummified humans were bone. Okay, now wait a minute. Before I continue this, like I said, I think they deliberately put out so many names and characters because they wanted to confuse us. Because here's the thing: if you're watching this weekly, I feel like this is going to happen more. That you'd forget the person who you saw in the very first episode a little bit. They showed Harimase a little bit, and that was it. And then now finally, after at the very end, in the previous episode, they showed us Soakiseki. So when they showed her picture there, I didn't realize that the girl we saw in the very first episode of this arc and this girl are different, because I mixed up all the names, I mixed up all the faces as well, because there were so many characters introduced here. Not only them, but the other girls from the basketball club, all the girls that we saw today, they were also introduced. So all those faces like jumbled up in my head, and I wasn't able to recognize the two differences between the girl in the very first episode of the arc and this girl. That would have been an immediate giveaway. People who have extra high, very good memory and who are able to like remember stuff clearly, they probably realized something is wrong in the previous episode. I, however, wasn't able to, because I've had forgotten her face. So when they showed Soakiseki's face in the previous episode, I still wasn't able to realize the trick that's going on over here. And that's why today was a surprise for me. But like I said, if this was someone with really good memory or someone who's binging this or something, they probably would be able to recognize, and they would be like, wait a minute, this girl and that girl is not the same. Soakiseki and the girl we saw in the very first episode, they don't look the same. What's going on? They probably would have thought that. But I didn't, because I forgot the face completely. And that's why I guess I had the genuine element of surprise at the very end. Okay, it was a body swap. Okay, let me resume. The mummified humans were bone dry, and their features and their appearances were consistent. You can so far say that every mummy is unable to be identified. True? Yet, how did we determine that mummy has Haimase? From her belongings. So, which makes sense. Conversely, if you put on your uniform on the mummy, give it your back, and have it hold on to your phone, wouldn't you be able to make people believe that mummy was you? Wait, was Kie Harimase, or the body that we thought was Kie Harimase, was it that one where they dragged her inside that shed? If you remember, that was obviously, I'm guessing that was Soakiseki's body, but everyone thought that was Kie Harimase's body. Then that would make sense, I guess, because they probably Harimase probably dragged the body and put her dress on her, and that's why she dragged her into a shed, because she had to undress and put it on. Like, she cannot really do that in the middle of the road or something. That's why she probably dragged her into the shed to do that, maybe. But like I said, I'm not sure. Again, like all these it's like so much confusing that yeah. Anyways, okay. However, if you are going to be fair, which mummy will get swapped out? Every mummy had an equal opportunity. True. What becomes the key point here is the code that Meniko deciphered for me. Okay, so from here onwards, I need to understand what's going on. It was a diversionary tactic that knew about Miss Guyan and the investigations. Okay. Yeah. They tried to trick them into thinking it was Dystopia who was doing it, so it was a diversionary technique. Okay. Which means at that point, the internal goings-ons of the investigation has been already leaked. True. That makes sense. How did the serial vampire ascertain Miss Guyan and her group's existence? Okay. I came upon that method after my conversation with Meniko, which gave me a hint. We talked about how the cell phone was a part of your brain now. Okay. Right. If you took that cell phone along with the uniform and the school bag and dressed up the mummy that the perp created, which means you can also attach ears, eyes, and the brain onto the mummy. Oh. So yeah, so he's saying, like, since as they had the conversation that a mobile phone is almost part of our brain now, that is why Aragi got this idea that if you can literally bring the phone with you and do that, then you can do the same with brains and ears, and because it's part of the body kind of. That's how he got that idea. If anything, it's like a surveillance camera and a wire trap. Okay, So even if the phone is locked, it keeps operating in the background. There are tons of apps that can do that, and this is where it gets important. It is impossible unless you have already set up the app at the point of finding the first mummy. It's impossible unless you have already set up the app at the point of finding the first mummy. Okay. So 3 days, 2 days. Okay. You had to set it up in the cell phone of the suspected Harima's mummy in order for that mummy to become believer. Oh my god, this part is confusing me so much. Wait. Okay, let me read this again. Oh my god, this is going to be difficult to understand. If you took the cell phone along with this uniform and the school bag and dressed up the mummy that the perp created, okay, which means you can also attach ears, eyes, and the brain onto the mummy, so to say. Okay, if anything, it's like a surveillance camera and a wire. Wait, so is he saying that? Oh my god, is he saying that he, like, Harimaze switched her, like, eyes, brain, and everything inside the mummy and kept a constant surveillance as to what? That's how the internal information got leaked, because you remember Arag and Gan were literally talking in front of the mummy, standing there, and like, Arag is comparing that to a cell phone app. Even if the phone is locked, it keeps operating in the background. There are tons of apps to do that, and this is where it gets important. This is impossible unless you had already set up the app at the point of finding the first mummy, which is true, because yeah, so the first mummy, when you're going to find it, this has already need to be set, otherwise it won't work. Okay. You had to set it up in the cell phone of the suspected right, Tia Harima's mummy, in order for that mummy to become believable that it was her. Oh, so okay. If you didn't, you couldn't leave a code with Yomi Kuchimoto's mummy. If you didn't, you couldn't leave a code with your, as she was the second one attacked. And of further importance, cell phones must be recharged periodically or the battery will run out. Yeah. Which means that the fact that I chose the Kanbao residence to receive Suicide Master, okay, and that I had Kanbao step outside for precisely that reason are facts the perps is unaware of. Yeah, then she wouldn't target the Illuminati gathering at Higasa's house. Quite naturally target Kanbara. Yeah, that part I understand. But oh my god, I'm still getting a bit confused here. Like, I understand what's happened, so wait, then why was he talking about? From a moment I thought that maybe he's talking about how he's comparing like a cell phone to, like, I was thinking maybe he, like, Harimase, like switched, like, her brain and everything into the mummy, and that's how she got the information leak. But that would make no sense. But no, so Arag is actually talking about a cell phone. I need to understand this better, I think. Wait a minute. Is there any type of summary for this episode somewhere? Oh, we just got this. I doubt we'll get summary immediately. Um, oh boy. You know what? Let me just see. Okay, I think I'll be able to get it from here. You know what? I've just gone to the wiki to. There's nothing to spoil now anymore, because we've literally seen the whole of Shinobu Monogatari. So right, where is that part? Okay, I'm going to read from here to properly understand. Meanwhile, the culprit, a blonde, golden-haired girl, school vampire, appears in Kanbaru's house. Evidently, she was after Kanbaru, but instead she found Suicide Master, there you go, who reproaches her for using her vampiric power for uncool purposes like revenge. Suicide Master then makes her an offer. Having become so old and weak she cannot even regain her full form, Suicide Master wishes to be killed before she ends up wanting to kill herself, like most vampires do. So, Suicide Master gives the high school girl vampire the choice of sucking her blood and taking back her to be a human, or eating her whole and becoming a fully fledged vampire. Makes sense? We saw that. The high school girl vampire takes Suicide Master up on the offer. Just before he goes on the kill, Aragi shows and stops her. She also reveals she isn't so Kiseki but rather Harimase. Here we go. It turns out that Suicide Master didn't actually attack Harimase in the opening of the book. She just asked for directions. As a book, this would be even more difficult to figure out because it's a book. Like, I feel like people who saw in the anime could at least, even like I said, people who have good memory, they can at least kind of realize what's going on in the previous episode. Me with my crappy memory, and since I'm weekly watching it, I was also kind of confused and I got tricked. Harimase begged Suicide Master to turn her into a vampire. Suicide Master obliged. Vampirification was successful, but Harimase's blood poisoned. Okay, no, not this part. Harimase buried her near the shrine, went to about attacking her teammates because personal identification of mummies is so difficult, especially when they have all similar hairstyles and bodies. She was able to make it seem that she was one of the victims. She was able to spy on the investigation using the cell phone, there you go, she'd placed on one of the mummies, which eventually ran out of charge. Okay, right, so there you go. Yeah, so yeah, it was simple. I was kind of confused when they were talking about brains and eyes and everything. For a moment I was thinking, wait, did she like switch her whole, like her brains, eyes and everything into the mummy so that she can keep an eye on everyone? But no, she did, that was just our, typical Monogatari fashion. They were just giving out like these type of things as a way of explaining the story. But yeah, it was a cell phone. So as Aragi says, the cell phone ran out of charge, and that is why she didn't know that Araragi and asked Kanbaru to give her the house, to lend her the house for a while, and the fact that Kanbaru is actually not here. She and her other alumni friends are somewhere else. She thought she is going to go and attack Kanbaru, and that's why she came here to the Kanbaru house, not realizing that Kanbaru and her whole group is not even here. That's what happened. Because of the phone, it lost the charge, that is why. And and the background application, it stopped automatically because the phone charge went out. So that's what happened, right? And that's why Aragi was talking about how, because from the very first victim, you have to plant the phone there and put the app over there as well. And to do that, obviously, since this is the very first victim, she probably fully charged it and then did that. And then little by little, as time went on, the charge fell, it turned off automatically. And then, the information that came out later on that Aragi has asked Kanbaru to lend her house for a bit, that never came into Harimase's ears, and she made that mistake. So there you go. Plain and simple, there you go. I understand it now. Okay. Anyways, Aragi comes in, and okay, from here on I understand everything after this, I think, yeah. So Dystopia is there. Kiseki's not Kiseki, sorry, Harimase is oh, you're here, Aragi senpai, I've heard your name a lot, and Aragi tries to talk to her, and he's like, I understand, your what's going on, but isn't this going too far? Yeah, and she kind of says that, what, I understand what you're saying, but I've gone too far. I'm just too much into the deep end that I cannot come back from this. Here we go. It's not that I'm going too far, but it's that I have given up so much, because I couldn't quit the team. Doesn't mean that I have to give up on living, right? And Alex is you can still make it in time. Just revert back the people you assaulted and revert yourself as well. And here she says stuff like, oh, like, oh, what can you, like, can you say that that is not salvation for them? Maybe they wanted to become like this. But I can also say the reverse. Like, what makes you think that you know what they want? You know, you're an individual person. You might know what you want, but you cannot really guess what other people want. Hmm. Anyways, yeah, she's like, maybe what I did was not assaulting, but I was saving. Hmm. Yeah. Aragi then says like what saving? They're going to live like this. How are they going to live? This is not living. At which she says that like high school students, they never live. They're always like in a puppet string, just dancing to the and she just talks about how like the springtime of youth, the blue youth, is not as blue as Aragi thinks it is. Just because like he has crossed that part. And she says like it's more of a deep dark blue. Something. Yeah. Dystopia is like, as a self in winter who has long since forgotten adolescence. You know, this is kind of funny. Uh, is this type of banter actually adolescence? Hilarious. Yeah. Right. So this is where she's like, so what do you want to do? You want to eat your master? You want to eat uh, do you want to eat or do you want to be eaten? You want to eat your master or do you want to eat the protagonist? Yeah. Yeah, and she's like, I'm sick of adolescence and I've chosen what I want to do. I was in the wrong. So let me make even more mistakes. She's like, yeah, you know what? I was trying to eat you, but you know what? Let me just eat the protagonist. And tries to attack Araragi. Shinobu comes out. Even like Hachiguchi was like scampering, trying to go and help Araragi. But before anything happens, Kaganui comes in, stomps on her completely. And that's it. And Kagunu's like, oh, that looks good on you, Araragi. And he's like, Kagami-san, that's a bit too far. She says, didn't I teach you before, Aragi? There's nothing as going too far against the immortal apparition. Yeah, and this is where they have the conversation. I was thinking what they're going to do with Dystopia, but here Kaguni, like, frankly says that, you know what? This kid is even more powerful than you now. You've lost everything, Dystopia. You pose no threat at all. You're even more harmless than her. So I think I can ignore you. It's fine. You can just, yeah. Right. Okay, so this is where you can see this is like, Kaka, it seems I have lived once again. It's kind of funny because she always says, I've, died once again. But this time she says, I've lived because she was actually trying to die. But it's like the same, like the reverse of the coin, like same thing, dying again, living again, like literally the opposite side of the coin. Okay, and this is where Kagan is like, now, Aragi, who's this? There you go. And then Aragi tells her everything, yeah. Then we have Senjogara. After so long, we see her, asking her about everything. Senjogara's like, who? What happened to her? That Harimaya girl? Araga's like, who? Okay. Okay, anyway, so basically what happened is like as Aragi says, she was sent to a hospital, and she could be reverted back. I guess it was more adult circumstances than juvenile law that was applied. Okay, so obviously I was like, wait, so she can just revert back? Like what? How? And obviously Senjogara has the same question. Senjogara's like, how could she revert back? Like, didn't you say that you have to kill your parent or something like that, to revert back into a human? And that's the reason why Aragi never became a human, because she didn't want to do anything to Shinobu, and that's why they were like stuck in this weird form, weird way. I actually thought here that maybe it's because Dystopia actually lost so much power. She was like literally so weak. Maybe that's why she was able to revert back. Turns out no. As Ari explains, basically, science, it progressed, and now they have ways to kind of revert back. Here we go. Back when in the spring bombing of the concerned party, that definitely was the case, but steady progress has been made on that end too. Yeah, so I guess it is possible now for Aragi now to revert back into a human if he, want. I guess he's kind of like, like he's not really a vampire anymore. But yeah, but it has progressed. But obviously, he is still bound with Shinobu, and I doubt he'll ever, he'll ever let go of that. Neither does Shinobu want that, neither does Aragi want that. Like, this kind of reminds me of that. Like, one of the best scenes in Monogatari ever, like one of my most memorable scenes. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I think it was the end of Wari Monogatari, or I don't remember where exactly it was, but there was a scene where when Aragi and Shinobu were broken, their bond, their whole thing was broken, link, and then like that scene in the very end where a Gain comes in and Gain is like like now you can actually become a human, and Aragi like hand was cut and Aragi was there. Shinobu in her kiss shot form was hugging Aragi underneath a tree, and this is where Aragi says that no, Shinobu says like like don't ask me that. It's all dependent on my master. If my master wants me to like wants to become a human, then yeah, I'll probably like let go of him. I'll probably go into a mountain, seclude myself, and like and probably just like leave him alone. And which is where Aragi was like, oh no, don't say that. Like both of us are stuck together. If he says something like, if you die today, I also die today, or something like that, he says, at which Kishore said that and if you die today, I'll live for 3 more days and I'll tell the story of my master to someone, and then I'll die. Something like that, Shinobu says. And and that whole scene. That was one of the most beautiful scenes in anime ever I've ever watched. I've seen so many anime, but that like scene doesn't come any close to any other scene I've seen in any other anime. That's why I love Monogatari so much, and I love like Shinobu and like Aragi as like like the chemistry between them is crazy. I've never seen two characters like this ever in any media before. Like where they're literally their souls are bounded to each other in such a way, and yeah, that scene I'll never forget, and that's one of the most like beautiful scenes ever. Anyways, I went on a tangent. This kind of like as we see now that they have found this whole thing. Yeah, after that scene, in no way Shinobu or Aragi would ever want to break the bond between them and break their connection, break the link between them, even if there is a way to do. After all that. So yeah. Anyways, so in the end, like Senjo Hara was like, what happened to the to Dystopia? So Suicide Master got exiled. They settled for deportation. Yeah, so there you go. The fare was rather simple. Shinobu and both of them said goodbye. I guess the vampiric feelings, or rather vampiric time, isn't something that I understand well. Yeah, because it's so long, But it's not likely the final farewell. I'm sure we'll meet again. And then Shinjogara suddenly becomes quiet. Okay, so he's like, do you know something? Come to think of it, it felt like Shinobu knew something but was keeping it a secret from me. But what she's been hiding was apparent in a comment she made after the fact. So the question, it was a belated reply to my question of what are humans to you. Wait a minute, just a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, why are you so quiet? Do you know something? Okay, she was keeping something from me. What she's been hiding was apparent in a comment. Yeah, so the question that he asked, what do you think of humans? And Shinobu says that monsters, right? Right. Wait a minute. Okay, this part I need to understand. Monsters. Okay. Anyways, okay. Let me continue. In the end, did the oral promise with Miss Guyan take place? I think that was the. Okay. I think it has taken effect for now. Okay. Lies, deceptions, fakes. If a human side is going to get involved like this, the establishment of a rumored division is imperative after all. I guess that time has come. Yeah, because now this whole thing that happened was because of a human. It's not like like oddities anymore. It's like, yeah, so it's intertwined. Well, you can say the same for Harimaze, but the fact it is allowed is ultimately because I'm still very much a child. Right. So this thing. So Senjuga is just looking at him, and she's like, "Oh, the time for my lecture is approaching. See you again in the near future. If I have anything I want from you, I'll contact you." Isn't that the template for when you're not going to contact me? Oh, you've got something cute there. You're part of the girls basketball team. Right. I'm already past the point of no return. With Kambar and Higasa's assistance, I'll gladly help out with a plan to do something about the present situation. Yeah, so he's getting involved again, basically. Like, yeah, and this is the point that gets brought up later on again, is that the fact that he cannot let go of, like, he tries to save everything and everyone. Yeah, and then Shinjogara laughs and she's like, huh, isn't that exactly why you're a child, Yeah, and this part was very confusing because they actually gave us the answer after this where Kagenu says that. So I was confused. I was like, wait, what is she talking about? What child? Like, Aragi was saying that, and it seemed Aragi also realized what she's saying, the meaning of it. But I was still confused. But then they show us the later part where he asks, like, Miss Kagenu, don't you hesitate? What she has done was unforgettable crime, whether it be a human law or for devil law. But still, I couldn't help but think of Kie Harimaze's circumstances. I do think about it, and I hesitate, And Kagenu's like, I don't hesitate, because I'm an adult. There you go, this is the answer to it. And that's why Aragi is still a kid. Unique reply, which I cannot think of as a representative for the majority opinion, was serene and lacked all hesitation, because she's an adult. So, I get it. If that's what it means to be an adult, I'm nothing more than a child. I'm a child younger than a young girl, just like the vampires who were put on probation. Even if I become immortal, even if I go to hell, even if I graduate from high school, and even if I become a college student, Koime Aragi is to this day in the middle of a moratorium. Wait, what is moratorium? Moratorium, what does that mean? Temporary prohibition of an activity. Okay, so yeah, so he's basically like, I'll never grow up, basically. And this, like I said, this isn't really something bad, because if you think about it, most of the thing that Aragi has accomplished and she has gained in his life was because of his attitude like this. All the girls that he has met, everyone that he has saved, is because of this attitude. It began with Shinobu. It began with Kiss Shot, where he literally saved her because of this personality of his. That's why he has such a huge ally now. Senjogahara also was a reason. This was the reason why, because he literally wants to save everyone. That's why he went back to Senjogahara, even when Senjogahara almost stapled his face, if you remember. He went back to her because of that. I think Senjogahara also commented about this way before in another season, where she was like, I don't hate this part of you, because this is the reason why we actually met and we actually, got close, and now we are dating. So I don't hate that part of you. I don't know where exactly she says this. So his relationship with Senjogahara is also because of this, because of his personality, this type of personality. So Araragi is Araragi because of this thing, and he's never going to change, and that is the difference between him and and that's why Senjohara here kind of smiles when she realizes that, oh, he said that he's not going to get involved in this anymore, but now that there's a problem, he's getting involved in it either way. And he literally, that's why she kind of comments like, oh, so you're part of the basketball girls club, huh? Kind of teases him. And when Arag is like, yeah, you know what, I have to help them, and that's when Senjohara kind of smiles, and then she's like, that is why you'll always be a kid. So obviously, that was her way of commenting that you'll never change. But it's not that she's angry about it or sad about it, because she knows very much that this is the personality and this is the Aragi that she likes. She said this before as well, and also this was the reason why they even met and interacted and fell in love, I guess, and they started going out. So this is the part of Aragi that Senjohara will not condemn or will not, like, I guess you could say, reject. That kind of thing. That's why she just smiled over there and left. At least that's how I interpret this in the end. And Aragi also understands that. That's why he was also smiling. Again, this was just my interpretation of the last scene. I might be wrong though. Let me know if there's any other interpretation. Anyways, that was it, and that is where it ended. There you go. Fantastic end to this. And like I said, I think that we'll have another cour. We don't know when it will be. So, okay, I'm going to end it here. It became a long video. I said this. I knew this was going to take a long time because I need to understand everything. And yeah, I understood the mystery behind it, the whole trick and everything else I understood. And yeah, it was great to see Shinobu's backstory and Shinobu's origin, where she comes from and everything. You know how much of a big Shinobu fan I am. So, like, it was a fantastic experience. I'm glad that I was able to see this and react to it. Yeah, there you go, and that was it. Thanks for watching, guys. This was my reaction to episode number 14 of Monogatari series of and Monster season. Like I said, I think this is the ending episode for this cour. Let me know in the comments if there's still something more, if we are going to have episode 15. If not, this is the end for it. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is the ending episode. I think so, it is. If not, next week I'll be back with episode 15. But I don't think there's an episode 15. This was it. So yeah, see you guys in the other reactions that I'm reacting to, other animes that I'm reacting to. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.